What's up, you guys? It's Henry here again, and welcome back to another episode of Apparel Academy. Now, recently I've been getting a lot of questions and people asking me for advice on what machines they should upgrade to, and I've been seeing a lot of comments on our social media channels of people saying that they've outgrown their machine in just a short period of time. While outgrowing a machine is relatively normal within a couple of years given a steady increase in business, it is a little bit weird if someone is outgrowing their machine within just a couple of months of the initial purchase, because that just tells me that something wasn't done properly in the purchasing process to take into account all the different factors for long-term scaling that will help your business. So in today's video, I'll be going over the factors and considerations that you should keep in mind when buying your first embroidery machine so that you can get the most out of your investment. I'll also be providing some valuable insight to help you decide which model to upgrade to when that time comes so you can make the best decision for your business. With all that being said, let's jump into it. Alright, so if you're new here, this channel is dedicated to teaching you everything you need to know about the apparel decoration business and making sure that you have the right tools and knowledge to succeed in this industry. So if you're here for the first time, make sure to smash that subscribe button and click that little bell icon to keep notified as soon as new videos are released. And if you like videos like these, make sure to give it a quick thumbs up so we know what kind of content you want to see. Alright, so to give you some context of what I'm about to explain, let me first describe to you what I see far too often when someone goes through the process of buying an embroidery machine. First, someone might see an advertisement for an embroidery machine at a very low price and jump right in because they might think that this is very affordable and this is the right fit for them. Then they buy the machine, go through the training and set everything up, and are super excited to start taking on orders and start their new business. What happens soon after is that they realize they have to turn away orders because they can't fulfill them either because of volume and lack of time, or because they don't have the capabilities of fulfilling that order because their machine can't do it. That's how you run into the situation where you need to upgrade or change machines within just a couple of months because you either have to turn away orders and lose that revenue, or you have to tell customers to go somewhere else and maybe you outsource that order while keeping that customer, but you lose more of that margin. If this sounds all too familiar, make sure to watch this whole episode through because I'm going to break down for you what are the key considerations to keep in mind when buying that machine so you don't make the same mistake. And by the way, if you have already purchased an embroidery machine, this will still be helpful because you'll know what to keep in mind and what to look for when it's time to upgrade. So now that you know the common reasons why people upgrade their machines, I want to give you a few tips to keep in mind when purchasing your first embroidery machine so you don't outgrow it within a couple of months. The first thing you need to do to prevent outgrowing your machine too quickly is to understand the time that you have on your hands to dedicate to this business. If you're just looking to test out the waters or maybe only doing this part-time, it might be okay to start with something small and grow into it. However, if you already know that you're going all in this business and you're diving in head first, it might be wise to think about what type of volume you should expect 3, 6, or 12 months from now and buy something accordingly. The reason being, if you are doing this on a full-time basis, you have more time to dedicate to the craft, you are putting all your efforts behind it instead of doing this part-time and running it as a side business. And with that corresponding effort, it should be expected that you should see more results in a shorter period of time. This is what I've typically seen from a lot of customers. They go into this full time and then they really quickly outgrow it because they didn't anticipate the level of volume and results that they would drive. But you really need to understand your own capabilities and what amount of time can you dedicate to this business. I would say that if you're expecting to do this full time and you've already made that commitment, to really think ahead 6 to 12 months down the road on what you'll need in your machine. But if you're just testing the waters and you're unsure and you have a limited budget, for example, you can also go on the smaller side to mitigate some of the upfront risk. The general rule of thumb is you should be purchasing a machine that has the capabilities and features that will match your level of effort. Alright, the second tip that I will give you here when considering your first purchase so you don't outgrow your machine is to think about your client base. Are you starting this business brand new with no prior clients and no experience? Or are you doing something similar currently and you're just looking to expand into embroidery?
These
two situations are very different given the fact that if you have prior clients or you already have an established client base, it will be much easier to market to them. Many times I've seen a lot of screen printing shops or sublimation shops add on embroidery to their offerings because they already have an existing client base that are asking them for embroidery. So in those cases, it will be unwise for you to go with something smaller and outgrow it much faster because you're starting at a much higher level than someone with no prior experience. So in this case, you should really be considering what type of volume you're expecting from your existing client base when you add on embroidery and purchase something that will be conducive to fulfilling those orders in a timely manner. That's why I see some of these shops expanding into embroidery actually start off with a 2-head machine or even a 4 or 6-head machine, given they have a high level of confidence of what volumes they're expecting from their existing clients. And the third tip that I will give you regarding purchasing your first machine is think about what type of items you want to do or are expecting that your clients want. The niche that you focus on or the type of clients that you cater to will really be the driving force behind what type of garments you're looking to embroider. For example, if you're catering to the restaurant industry, they might need some things like aprons or chef hats or polo shirts, and you want to make sure that your machine can do those things. If you're catering to schools, they might need caps or jerseys or other types of jackets that might be for sports teams, and you want to make sure that your machine can do those. So I would really encourage you to think about what your client's needs are and therefore purchase your machine accordingly, but also think about what type of industries or verticals you're looking to get into so you can plan down the road what your machine needs to do for those types of clients. Then I would summarize all of that and make sure that your machine can not only do the types of items you want to do now, but what you might want to expand into in the future so you don't outgrow it within just a couple of months. Because the last thing you want to have happen is get a big order from a school for varsity jackets and find out that your machine can't really do that and having to turn that order away or outsource to someone else. You definitely don't want to be like this guy over here who jumped the gun. Alright, so there are two main reasons why people outgrow their machine or are looking for an upgrade. The first reason is you can no longer keep up with the volume of orders that are coming in with the machine that you have. So the typical example here is someone that has a single head machine, and as they scale their business, they're realizing that they can't fulfill the orders because let's face it, in reality, with just a single head machine, you can only take on orders about 20 to 30 pieces without it being overwhelming. Once you start receiving order sizes of 50 to 100 pieces on a regular basis, you're really into the multi-head territory by that point because you can't really fulfill those orders with a single head effectively without staying up all night or burning yourself out to fulfill an order for a client. That being said, when you're considering an upgrade because of volume constraints, it's also important to consider what type of orders you're taking on to decide what machine to upgrade to. If your business is focused on personalization orders or small one-off orders, it will be unwise to upgrade to a multi-head machine because you're doing all these different things with your designs, and a multi-head machine is more conducive for bulk orders. Given your business is revolving around personalization, it will be better to scale with other single-head machines added to your arsenal because then it allows you the flexibility to do different designs and to place them in different areas and basically run different orders at the same time. On the other hand, if your business is really focused on contract jobs, or if you're a wholesaler and you're focusing on volume, the bulk orders that you take on is best fulfilled with a multi-head machine because then it can pump out a lot of volume and you save on the cost per head as you scale. One final thing to note on this point is what I've seen a lot of embroidery shops do as they scale is have a combination of single heads and multi-heads. Because now you have the best of both worlds of being able to take on bulk orders if you get those, and you have the single head available to do small samples or small runs for your clients. I've also done a deeper dive into a comparison of pros and cons between 2 single head machines and a 2-head machine as you scale your business. So if you want to check that out, either in the card above or I put it in the link below. Now, the second most common reason why people upgrade their machines is because their current machine is very limiting or it's preventing them from fulfilling certain orders. So what do I exactly mean by that? Let's take an example of an order of jacket backs. If a customer comes to you with some Carhartt jackets and want to do embroidery on the back of those jackets, if you have a smaller machine without a large embroidery area, you can't really do that jacket back design. So what ends up happening is you either turn that order away and lose that revenue, or you end up outsourcing it to someone else that has the capability to fulfill that order, but you make a smaller cut. Now, you do that enough times and people are tired of outsourcing or turning away orders and losing that revenue, and therefore they're looking to upgrade their machine to do it in-house. Other examples that fall into this category are people looking to take on orders that are very intricate and very colorful designs with multiple color sequences, and their current machine is limited in the number of needles that it has to fulfill those orders. For example, if someone has only a 4-needle machine or a 6-needle machine and they get a design that has 10 colors, it'll be very inconvenient to complete that type of order because they'll have to switch out different thread colors in order to complete a design of 10 or 12 colors. So if that's the case for you and you're looking for more needles in your machine, check out the latest machine that we have here at Ricoma, the Ricoma MT8S series, which is our newest line of 20-needle embroidery machines for your business. While on the surface, having a 20-needle embroidery machine might seem like a lot, and a lot of people might say, I don't do any designs more than 10 colors, so why would I need a 20-needle embroidery machine? The reason being, not only can you embroider more colors in your design and therefore take on these very intricate, large designs for your orders, it can also make you more efficient in your embroidery process. You can actually preset different ranges in your 20-needle machine for different types of needles. For example, ballpoint needles, sharp point needles, or even larger or smaller size needles for different projects. So if you think about it that way, you essentially turn your 20-needle machine into 4 or 5 4-needle machines. And therefore, you don't have to change out needles as frequently as you set up for different jobs. That's a point that a lot of people overlook because on the surface, it just seems like, oh, I just have more color options. But in reality, it can also be an efficiency booster. So if you're interested to learn more about our 20-needle embroidery machine series, which by the way is the largest number of needles in the industry, make sure to check it out in the links below. So I hope that these tips will help you avoid those costly mistakes of outgrowing your machine in just a couple of months, because I know the mindset that most people have in mitigating risk. They want to just try it out and maybe test the waters, but then end up realizing that they have to upgrade anyway within a short period of time. And when it comes time to upgrade, you might have to trade in your machine if you just had it for a couple of months, and you might lose some value on that given you've already used it. Besides the value that you might lose on the trade-in, what's even more costly is having to turn away orders and lose that revenue to someone else. There's a saying that floats around in the embroidery industry where people recommend you to buy the largest machine that you can afford. And that mindset really aligns with what I just mentioned about keeping the future in mind when you make that purchase. Again, don't look at your needs as just what's right in front of you and at this moment, but rather think 6 to 12 months ahead. While it is natural for us to want to mitigate risk and therefore underbuy in the beginning, if you avoid this mindset, it will actually be much more beneficial for you in the long run and save you money. At the end of the day, you know your business best, so put in the effort and do your research and always think ahead in business so that you can scale rather than focusing what's right in front of you. Alright, with all that said, you guys, I hope you found this information helpful. Again, purchasing your first embroidery machine is a daunting task and it might be stressful for a lot of you, but I hope that these tips and tricks will help you avoid the pitfalls and mistakes that a lot of people make. Buying your first machine can also be a super exciting process as you embark on this next chapter in your custom apparel journey. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll make sure to answer them, or get in touch with our team and we'll be happy to help you. And if you want to learn more about the custom apparel industry, make sure to check out our free Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery. I put it down in the link below where you can connect with tens of thousands of other embroiderers and apparel decorators and learn from their experience. And last but not least, make sure to follow us on all our social channels down below. We're pretty active on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok for some entertaining content. Alright, that's it for us for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.